Good morning, children. Whenever we hear the word election, what comes to our mind? Yes, Prime Minister's election, elections for President, MLAs, municipal committees and corporations, society elections, college and university elections, and so on. Many of you must have seen how elections are conducted in your area. And today we will study about elections and the election commission. Now children, what are elections? An election is an organized process in which people vote to choose the persons who shall represent them in parliament or the state legislatures. Children, please note here the persons here is referred to the candidates who contest elections for the Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly. How are elections conducted in a democracy? Elections in a democracy are conducted according to the following principles. 1. Universal adult franchise. We read about it in our previous lecture as one of the salient features of Indian Constitution. Secret ballot or electronic voting machine. If you have ever visited election booth, you must have seen an enclosure with a box or an electronic voting machine where a voter cannot be seen as they press the button or sign their choice on ballot paper. Third, electoral choice offered by competition between political parties or between the candidates. During election campaign, we have seen various political parties like Bharatiya Janata Party, Indian National Congress, Bahujan Samaj Party, Aam Aadmi Party hold public meetings, rallies, yatras and also telecast to introduce their candidate for elections and also to carry their message to the voters. India is a democratic state, which means that the government is chosen by the people. Now, who are those people and what are they known as? They are known as voters. Now, who are voters? Our constitution says a voter is a citizen of India who is 18 years and above of age and not otherwise disqualified under any law. Our constitution also prescribes that there shall be one general electoral roll for every constituency. Now, what is the meaning of constituency? Constituency means a well-defined territorial area from where a candidate contests elections. It also means that every constituency has its own voting list of registered voters who will elect the candidate for the election. So now you all know what are elections and elections in a democracy. Let us do the kind of elections. There are two kinds of elections, direct election and indirect election. Direct election. Direct election is one in which voters directly choose their representatives to the legislatures. For example, the members of the Lok Sabha, the members of the State Legislative Assembly, Gram Panchayats, municipal corporations and committees are directly elected by the people. Now, let's do the advantages and disadvantages of direct elections. The advantage of the direct election is it stimulates the interest of the people in elections. We have seen the rush during the election campaigns and people interest in the elections. It has its own disadvantage as well. Sometimes people vote in the name of religion, casteism, region, and they are emotionally attached to the candidate and may not vote for the person who has the abilities required for the job. Indirect election. Indirect election in which voters do not vote to elect their representatives but elect an intermediate body which elects the representatives. To make it more clear, let's take some examples. The members of the Rajya Sabha are not elected by the people directly. Instead, they are elected by the members of the Legislative Assembly. Similarly, the President of India is also indirectly elected by the Electoral College, which consists of the members of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and the members of the state legislative assemblies. Likewise, the President, Vice President of India is also indirectly elected by the members of both the houses of the Parliament. Indirect election also has its advantages and disadvantages. Advantages of indirect election. It reduces the heat of election campaigns because it is more suited to elections in which the constituencies are unduly large and has millions of people to participate. Now, the disadvantage of indirect election is it leads to horse trading or evil practices such as bribery. Why? Because the final electors or the voters are very few in number and therefore the buying and selling of the MPs and MLAs is very common during elections. Types of elections. There are three types of elections. 1. General election. General elections are held on the basis of universal adult franchise. The elections to the Lok Sabha are termed as general election. By-election is held to fill the vacant seat of Lok Sabha or State Legislative Assembly when the member has resigned, died or disqualified. The elected candidate through by-election is only elected for the remaining term. Midterm election. Midterm election is held when the Lok Sabha or State Assembly is dissolved before the completion of the term. We know the term is for 5 years. It means that the Lok Sabha or State Assembly is dissolved before completing 5 years. Therefore, the midterm elections take place to elect new Lok Sabha and a new State Assembly. The Election Commission of India. The Election Commission of India manages all technical preparations of elections and the declaration of election results. It conducts elections for the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President and the Vice President of India. Now let's do the composition of Election Commission. The Election Commission of India consists of one Chief Election Commissioner and two other commissioners who are appointed by the President of India for a term of 6 years or the commissioners has attained the age of 65 years. The Chief Election Commissioner and other commissioners are paid a salary equal to the salary of a judge of Supreme Court. The Chief Election Commissioner is removed from office in the like manner as the judge of the Supreme Court. The other two commissioners are removed directly by the President on the recommendation of the Chief Election Commissioner. So children, today we have studied about meaning of election, kind of elections, direct and indirect, types of elections, general election, by-election and midterm election, Election Commission of India and its composition. Enhance your knowledge by reading, know more. Thank you and stay blessed.